Now
Yay.
recording. Yay. So introductions as always. I am Rose/Sarah, and I'm from the United States.
My full name is Roseanne, and I'm from the U.S., currently residing in South Korea.
I'm Nakita. I'm from Hawaii, but I'm living in Portugal. Yay!
Okay, and tonight, today, whatever, it's night for two of us. As you can tell by her window there, it's not night for her, it's early in the morning for her, but we are talking about K-dramas and male leads in K-dramas. I've not watched very many yet. I'm trying to watch more, so I'll chime in with what I can anyway.
To be honest, I live here and I don't watch too many Korean dramas, only ones that are either they get like super popular, so then I feel like I need to, follow what everybody's talking about, or just I don't know. I've been a bit on the picky side with Korean dramas.
These days I don't get the time to watch too many. I watched more years ago before I had kids. And every now and then I'll just binge watch and say, what's sleep? Who can eat sleep? Yeah.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
I've done that.
And the TV was always on when I was a kid because my grandma, full Korean, and every night watching the Korean TV channel in Hawaii. So yeah, definitely had K-dramas going on every night on loud because she's kind of deaf. So
I think we've talked about that before, about how loud your grandparents are.
This is like, oh, turn it off. Yeah, so it's funny, like, even if you only watch a few, there's patterns. There's a clear pattern that shows up. There's like a full recipe. It's like they hit all those things every single time.
Yeah.
There'll be like the initial thing, there's the boy meets the girl, and the guy can be a total jerk about it, and she's still like, oh, what? Yeah. Or if you have the other kind where there's like a cat fight going on, then that happens too. That can get pretty nasty, and it could be the mother-in-law, or it could be a sister, or a rival lover.
Right. Yes.
And if it's a longer series, somewhere around 2/3 in ish, there'll be somebody who gets cancer or some other disease, something
car accident.
Something
car accident.
Bad happens. Yeah.
It's like boom. It's like, oh, you thought things were getting better, huh? Boom.
Yeah.
Season extension.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes. So the first one I ever watched was Love Alarm.
Love Alarm.
Love Alarm, yes.
I haven't seen that one.
They were talking about it in the K-pop server, and like most of them weren't really fans of it, and I was just like, okay, let me watch it just to see if I agree or not. And like it's not terrible, but it's definitely formulaic. Like it definitely follows a lot of the usual things, and it's maybe a little more shallow than some of the other K-dramas when it comes to the love interests. But basically, it's set in a high school for the first season. And what happens is one of the students creates a phone app that is called Love Alarm. And if you're within 10 meters of somebody, and you like them, you can ring their love alarm, so they'll know that you like them, and like the reverse can happen as well. Somebody can ring yours, kind of thing. So the whole thing is like, if two people ring each other's love alarms, though, it's true love and all of this. It's really kind of dorky in that aspect, but it becomes this like huge sensation and everything, to the point where like couples are breaking up if they don't ring each other's love alarms and things like that. And the main female lead, she for a while refuses to download it because she thinks it's dumb. She's just not into it, kind of thing. But her boyfriend at the time is like, oh, you really should get it and stuff. And she's just like, why do I need it to show that I love you and all of this? And he's just like this big dumb teddy bear of a jock kind of thing. And so he gets really excited one day because he's walking to class and his love alarm goes off and he thinks she's finally gotten it. But it's not her. She's going, but I didn't. And before she can explain, he runs off to his class kind of thing. Like, just so happy.
Oh.
And I won't spoil who actually rang his love alarm. But it wasn't her, and they do end up breaking up. And she's in this love triangle with these two guys who are best friends, have been for ages, kind of thing. But it becomes this whole mess, of course, because where's the drama otherwise? And she initially chooses one over the other, and then a bunch of stuff happens, and the second season is much more like just her trying to deal with a lot of her past issues and stuff. So there's a little bit more deeper things like that. But she doesn't end up with who you think she like. She ended up with who I think she should have ended up with. We'll put it that way. Everyone else is like, why did she end up with him? And I'm like, because they fit together better. Like, but yeah, that was the first one I ever watched, and definitely the two male leads are like complete opposites. One is very much like what you normally see of like he's a bit of a jerk at first, very pushy and a bit controlling of her as well. Whereas the other guy is like the total opposite, you know, just very sweet and loving and supportive of her. So that's Love Alarm.
I haven't seen that one. Sounds interesting.
It's on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix? Ooh.
Netflix, yeah.
I may end up having to hit that up. right after the Silent Sea.
Oh gosh, I still haven't watched that either. It's on my list.
My list keeps growing longer.
The main guy was also in Sweet Home. I'm looking at pictures now.
Yeah.
That scary one?
Song Kang is in it, yeah.
I couldn't watch it after the first episode.
He's also in Nevertheless as well. I haven't watched it yet either. I've watched 2.5 because I'm working on one right now. So we're gonna go with 2.5. The other ones, Kira and I watched Semantic Error together, which I've read the webtoon that it's based on. She hasn't, because it has a lot of not safe for work things in it. But the show leaves out quite a bit of that and makes it more PG-13. So I was okay with her watching it. But and that one is what do they call it? Boy Love. It's 2 male leads, which is really interesting to me, actually.
Yeah, that's good for Korea. That's all I can say.
I'm seeing a lot more of those becoming popular, because there was, I'm not going to try and scroll back through all of the messages. There was another one that I was trying to think of a while ago that was a boy love one that was it had a K-pop star in it too. Not from one of the groups I know.
I forgot what you wrote.
But yeah, there was one that was that, because I asked in the K-pop server and I was like, okay, what's this one? Because I can't think of it now, because it's like a historical one. Yeah, I can't think of what it is now. Semantic Error, the male leads are also from different K-pop groups.
Yeah, I recognize them.
I didn't. They were familiar, but everyone was very excited in the K-pop server for it, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just glad that I guess they're stepping into the LGBT realm, and hopefully that more exposure will bring more acceptance here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there was what's his name? See, this is why I should write things down, because I'm bad with names.
Me too.
There is an openly gay idol.
Oh,
You know who I'm
yeah.
talking about, don't you?
Yes.
Who was recently attacked because of his sexuality. He's okay, but that was like a big deal when it was brought up in the server, because it's like, wow, like we knew it was bad over there, but it like, come on, guys.
There's basically one openly gay celebrity here in Korea.
Yeah.
Because when I posed that
what?
question in my classroom, who is a gay entertainer in Korea? And they can only think of one.
Yeah, there's only the
Wow.
one that's openly gay. So yeah. So hopefully, like, as more time goes by, it'll be more of them. But I do think it's a big step that they're starting to show more of these. And Semantic Error is available on Viki, Viki. So that's where I watched it. Trying to think. I've been watching Hotel de Luna as well.
I like that
one is
one.
good.
I really like it so far, which was funny because like it was on my list and everyone was talking about it in the server. One, I didn't realize how long it is. There's so many episodes.
But for K-drama, it's actually pretty short.
Right,
Like all the
yeah.
ones on Netflix, I love how condensed they are because
Yeah, because this has like I think it has like 20 episodes.
yeah, that's mild.
I think,
It's
yeah,
not bad.
right? Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's not Daejangum. I mean,
but yeah, it I like if I'd realized who the two leads were sooner, I would have watched it sooner. Because the female lead is IU.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, like I've recently heard some of her songs and like she's amazing in general. So I was like, man, if I'd realized that was IU, I would have watched it sooner. Because she's awesome. But the male lead, whose name I can never remember, the actor.
Yo Jin-gu,
Yeah.
right? Or Kim Soo-hyun, is he in here?
No, it's Jingu. But
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you watched the girl group competition, Girls Planet 999.
No, I didn't. I knew it was airing, but I never watched it.
I watched it. Almost from the beginning, but he's the host for the show.
Oh,
yeah. So like
okay.
I actually knew him from that first, and then like because then I saw like I went to watch Hotel de Luna, and I was like, why does that name sound familiar? Like I should know that name for the actor's name. And then he comes up on the screen, and I'm like, oh, I'm dumb. Okay, now I know why. Kind of like I'm better with faces.
It's hard to keep track of all the names. Oh, there's so many.
Yes.
Like even like the top A-listers, I'm like, what's that guy's name again? Forget it. You know, the dude.
Right. If so many of my students hadn't brought up K-dramas or other shows, I probably wouldn't even know some of the names that I do know. So like, yeah, it's hard.
We almost always have the TV on in the background in our house. And so my husband will be channel flipping and I'll recognize so many faces. I'll be like, oh, that guy or that girl. But students will tell me the name and I'll have to run to Google and double check and be like, oh, yeah, that person.
Yep. I'm that way with Western artists and actors too. Like you can say something, I'll be like, what have they been in? Context here. Maybe then I can figure it out. Kind of thing. Yeah.
That's how I am too. Like, oh, there's just too many. Unless it's something that really, really sticks. Like oh gosh, Hugh Jackman. That's a name that just kind of sticks. Like,
everybody knows Hugh Jackman. That's for sure.
For sure. And then there's sometimes their name doesn't stick, but the nickname they get does stick.
Right.
Like there's a Portuguese actor and he played Jesus and everyone just, oh, it's Portuguese Jesus. Whenever
Jesus, I love that. That's amazing.
Hot Portuguese Jesus. That's all I know
Hot
of that.
Portuguese Jesus. Okay, as opposed to ugly Portuguese Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. As opposed to his like actual name. Like, I don't know his name, just Portuguese Jesus. Like,
Right. There's a joke about Tim Curry. You can tell a lot about a person by what they know Tim Curry from.
Very true.
Mine is Criminal Minds.
Ooh, I know him from Muppets Treasure Island, and why is the name escaping me all of a sudden? But the cult classic
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I've actually never watched
That's what
it,
first
but I've
popped in
seen
my
so
head.
much of it.
Oh yeah, and Home Alone. Home Alone too.
Oh
He
yeah,
was in
he's
that.
in that.
Oh, that's right.
This is the
Yes.
hotel guy. Yeah, I just
Mhm.
watched that the other day.
That's my Tim Curry right there. Ah, those three sums up my childhood. Yeah.
Right. That's another thing. Is like, do they know him from It or some other horror show, or is it Home Alone?
If I watched horror shows, I probably would know him from that too, but I didn't watch. It's too scary. Too scary. No, thank you.
Right. Yeah, the kid doesn't do scary stuff.
Yeah, it's like, well, okay, like Hotel de Luna has some scary bits, but it's not like scary. It's
Right. Not a lot of it
different.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool how they show ghosts and stuff and demons, and I really am fascinated by seeing lore brought to like modern context in that way. But if it's gore and blood and guts, nope, running.
Yeah,
not
no.
happening. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only ghost I found really scary so far for Hotel de Luna is room number 13.
Yes, that one. That was
she's
the one.
quite an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad for her as well, but also just like
Like I can understand how her ghost ended up the way that it is after like going through it, because that's the part I just finished was that part. I don't want to.
You just got that one.
Yeah, I just got done with that one. I think I just finished episodes 7 or 8. So yeah, it's right after that.
That sounds right up my alley. I definitely need to watch it.
I think you'd
It's
like
really
it. Yeah, I feel
good.
like because yeah, it's not really the horror element. It's more of just like, here's some of their regrets or grudges they had or things like that, and helping them resolve those so they can move on, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's funny,
it really humanized it. Like they're not just terrifying, scary ghosts. No, there's a story there. There's a reason. So it was nice. It was nice to see that.
They have a kids show version of that kind of theme here.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, they have a kids show where there's a little there's a girl. It's kind of like Card Captor Sakura meets like ghosts. Like actual ghosts. And so of course they go to school and they're like elementary school kids, and they have friends that are also kind of have powers or can access or fight these spirits. But each episode is them meeting some sort of demon or spirit that's angry and causing havoc, and then they work through the problem.
Super cool. Do you know the name of the show?
Oh, why is it escaping me right now?
I'm gonna have to watch that.
There's a cute character.
I know, that's like really interesting because I totally watched Card Captor Sakura, and actually there's like a sequel series to it now that I need to get back to. I only watched the first season of it.
Oh my gosh, it's in my mind's eye. There's this cute little like round green character.
It's so cute.
Apartment.
Here I'm saying I don't do horror, but then I watch Stranger Things. Like, that's my limit right there.
I guess that is horror elements.
It's pretty scary, but it's different. It's like fantasy. It's Dungeons and Dragons style. It's different.
Right?
It's not like trying to gross you out kind. It's like, no, it's different.
Right? Like I can't do the Saw movies.
Yeah.
The Purge movies, they're kind of pushing my limit too. I can watch some of them.
Resident Evil, no.
I don't mind Resident Evil. I can do Resident Evil.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. It's scary to me. I can't even play. I can't play the games either. Like, no.
Oh yeah, no, I can't do the games, but the show, like the movies, I can. How weird is that? Same with Silent Hill. Like I can't do the movie. I can do the movies, but I can't do the game.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting.
there's that too.
Well, the game is more terrifying, right? Because you're actually a character. It's more suspenseful.
I
Like,
can't play scary games, but I can watch other people play scary games.
It's like their character's dying. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's called
Kangaroo
Shinbi
squirrel.
Apart.
It's called what?
Shinbi Apart. Apate. Shinbi Apate, which is short for Shinbi Apartment, but it has a different English name called The Haunted House.
I have to write that one and go find it.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, as soon as you watch it, you'll be like, oh, this feels like Cardcaptor Sakura, but, a little more updated, a little more, just Korean in Korea instead of Japan.
Cool.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Korea has a fascination with spirits and ghosts. Like Tokebi, Goblin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or a Korean Odyssey that has a lot of that. That was actually a little scarier than Hotel Luna. That's also on Netflix. Mosquito. I got it. Yes.
Good job, Nakita.
The thing with Korean Odyssey that was really annoying was the toxic male guy. That really was just getting on my nerves. The whole entire thing. But other than that, it was fun.
My boyfriend recently started reading manhwa because he got bored with manga. And he messaged me at one point. He's like, can we do a voice chat? And I was like, sure. Like, why not? So he's like, I just wanted to ask you about this because like the ones he's been reading are set more in like the Joseon period and like older period kind of thing. He's explaining to me how like the women are being treated in it.
Oh
and I was
boy.
Like, yeah. And he's like, is that normal? And I'm like, for that time period, yes. Yes, it is. And he's like, but it's not like that now, right? And I'm like, debatable. Depends on where you are. It's better, but yeah. He's like, okay, I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't like weird. like no, that's pretty typical. I'm like, let me guess, you read it in several of them now, haven't you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, because that's the way it was for women back then.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't feel so bad now.
Like, I mean, feel bad for the women, but still.
Like, yeah. He's like, no, I still feel bad for them. Like, I don't feel bad for like enjoying the manga where they're getting treated this way. And I'm like, it's okay, honey. It's
learning about a culture. Have you checked out Color of Earth? That's your Color of Earth, Color of Water, Color of Heaven. Like
no.
3 parts. That one's good. Those are really good.
I actually have to ask him which ones he's been reading because I don't even know.
I just found a new one that I started. It's really good. Whale Star. That's on Webtoon. It's really good. It's historic. It's during the Japanese occupation time.
Okay.
It's quite nice. Yeah. I think it was a Whale Star.
It's great how just webtoons are getting so popular in the West. Because moving here 7 years ago, nobody knew what a webtoon was, and then except Korea, they would be reading them on the subway all the time, and it's great. I'm just happy to see it flourish.
Yeah, it's really interesting because let's see, what else were they talking about in the server? When All of Us Are Dead came out, that was like a big topic for a little while because it's also a webtoon to TV show on Netflix. I haven't watched it. It's zombies in a high school. So a lot of people were making comparisons to High School of the Dead, an anime, and things. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. Add to list. And then didn't watch. Shocker.
It's hard to get to all of it. So hard.
It is.
So much content.
Right? And like half of my Netflix is K-dramas or K-content. And I haven't watched like even a small fraction of it. It's the worst part.
It's too much.
There's so much. Like I'm so behind on other stuff too. Like.
Yeah. I'm drowning in work, and then I keep adding more stuff to my Netflix that I'll probably never get to. Like I have to start watching Portuguese stuff so I can finally get fluent. So like, that's now on my list. Yeah.
Yes. Ciara and I have this running joke of just like we'll send each other things to watch, and we're just like, right, add it to the ever-growing list that I don't watch. Like our to watch lists are so ridiculously long. It's so funny.
One day.
Someday my list of to watch will be empty. Today is not that day.
As far as K-dramas go, the ones that are in my queue at the moment is Silent Sea. I watched the first episode and just haven't had time for the rest. And Business Proposal, which I haven't had time for. I think I got like 7 episodes in. There's another one with the toxic, annoying males. Like, geez.
Yeah, they were doing a group watch of Business Proposal in the server, because they'll do that for like the more popular ones. They'll just do a group watch on Discord with it. What was the other one recently? Hang on. This one I can Google maybe. Because I remember part of the title. Love and Leashes.
Oh, with what's her face from Girls' Generation?
Yeah. That everyone was like all excited about. So I think they're doing a group watch for that too. But yeah, everyone's really excited to see how that turns out, because that's also a webtoon to TV show. So lots of them are getting made into TV shows, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
The one I saw, it's not a newer one, but My Mister, another one with IU.
Oh, okay.
That one it's a more serious one. It's not based off of a webtoon as far as I know. And it really kind of focuses on the hardships of working in a company, and also kind of different classes, or because IU's character is very, very poor, down on her luck, and just trying to make it by any means necessary, by illegally bribing someone and trying to get him in a corner. So, but it's very good. Very good. We'll pull at your heart for sure.
Sounds a lot like her character in Hotel Del Luna then.
Really?
She's quite the extortionist in Hotel Del Luna as well.
She knows how to hustle.
Oh, yes, she does. Yes, definitely.
She being typecast?
It's really cool to see that. Maybe.
She's good at it though. She's good at it though. So like, yeah.
Like she's so tiny and small, and then she's like a tiger. Like, ooh, don't mess with her.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah, it's really cool. There was another one with a female lead like that was It's Okay to Not Be Okay. That was a good
on
one.
my list too.
Oh. Very, very good series. Some people are like, oh no, because they look at it like the reverse of a toxic male, where it's the toxic female. But it wasn't like she was toxic female because that's the way. No, it was because there was mental issues going on. There's a whole backstory there, and that actually has like a bit of a spiritual scariness towards the first half of this series. I was like, ooh, what kind of intriguing, what's going on there? And then like, oh, it's good. It's really good. I don't want to spoil it for you.
I love Kim Soo-hyun, the main lead.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen the series because again, living here, I get the sort of pop news or the kind of the news the from the actual real world, and she got into a controversy. So
The actress?
the actress, she got into a controversy. So
Oh, what was it about?
let me see if I can remember exactly, but basically it was a love scandal and her being very possessive over her boyfriend.
Oh, in real life kind of scandal. Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Dang. Huh.
Interesting, yeah.
Very
Sorry, I wish I had more.
That's fine.
My brain depleted.
Right.
It kind of parallels with her character in that show. So like interesting. But in the show, she's like that because there's mental issues. But yeah, so
yeah, there were just some. Not only did that rumor come out, but also people saying like, "Oh yeah, she's crazy" or something like that. So yeah, that kind of tanked her image here, unfortunately.
Yikes. She must. It's like people who get super obsessive and stuff. I always think that they must just be super insecure. Like you're worried about somebody you love who says they love you back. You're worried they're gonna leave you. It's like that's on you, dude. Or do that.
Like, yeah, I've never understood that. Or people that get into relationships and are like, well, you can't have any, friends of the opposite gender or anything because you might cheat on me with them, or they might seduce you and all of this, or they use the excuse, I trust you, but I don't trust them. Like, no, that's still you not trusting your partner.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. So
exactly. Because it works, it's two ways. It's not just one person attacking. I mean, like, if that's the case, then they're not friends. Those are probably criminals who should be in jail. Like,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it works two ways.
Yeah. Is like in Love Alarm, you see that a little bit. When she finally like chooses one of them, he's kind of like that. He's like, don't even look at other boys, and like it's just a poster of some like movie star or something that she's like, oh yeah, that guy's in town or whatever, and something that he like covers her eyes and is like, don't even look at other guys and stuff, and she's like it's just a poster. Kind of like she like doesn't put up with it really, kind of thing. Nice. But it like you see that a lot too, I think with K-dramas where it's very like expected that you won't have friends of another gender. Kind of thing.
Or even if the male lead doesn't even have the girl yet, and she's like talking to other guys, he interferes and acts like such a jerk, and she's just like, it's okay, I'm gonna deal with that, it's totally fine. No, it's not fine. Like, right. No, you would put a restraining order on a guy like
versus just life. Over here nodding like yep.
It's an unfortunate reality. Yeah. Though with everything, the newest generation is definitely breaking boundaries. So I would say like kids in high school now, like they'll have more, friends that are of the opposite gender. But I think still the people I teach my age, like in their 30s, some of them will still have that kind of idea, like, oh, I'm married, but I can't really have if I'm a guy, I can't have a girl as a friend, and the vice versa. So it happens.
Yeah.
One of my students, one of my students from Ukraine, when he was talking about, he has a girlfriend, and I think she's here in the US. He wasn't very specific, but it sounds like she's here, and he lives in Bulgaria right now. But he talks a lot about how he doesn't have a lot of friends in Bulgaria, even within like the Ukrainian community there. And a friend did invite him out, but it's a girl. And it would have just been the two of them. There's like nothing between them or anything. He was very adamant that it's like it would have been just friends and stuff, but it didn't feel appropriate to him because that's not how it's done in Ukraine, kind of thing and stuff. And I was like, okay, like within cultural context, that makes sense. Like here in the US, that's not really a thing. Like it's whatever here in the US for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting to see how it's different in other countries.
Yeah. It's definitely a cultural aspect. Like, oh, it's just not done. You can't be like that. No, not even just cultural, but also even religious cultures. Like that was redundant. Religions. They have their own rules of that, but sort of thing. And it's usually an oppressive thing on that statement, oppressive against women. With the Korean culture, where you would never be seen alone with a guy, at least in the past. Maybe that's changing now. It's more of like, oh, that's, people will be whispering behind your back kind of thing. It just looks wrong. Like, the town gossip is going to be all over that. I kind of wonder if maybe this is why the rules kind of came up. It was just that one person who just made up shit every time. Yes. Just that one old lady living in the corner, but like, oh, look at so and so. They must be going steady. Like, no, they're just talking. Damn it! Like, stop.
Gossip is a real thing in
Right.
Korea. Oh yeah.
Well, even here in the US, so my daughter is 14. She's middle school. She's in her last year of middle school. And there was this moment where they were in the lunchroom. So, all sorts of kids in the cafeteria, and she'd forgotten her jacket in her locker, and she was cold. She's always cold. So I don't know how she forgot her jacket, but this boy who is just friends with her gave her his jacket because he saw that she was cold, and I was like, kid was raised right. Okay,
Very nice.
So yeah, he just gave her his jacket and stuff, and these total mean girls in her grade are like, oh, are you guys dating and all this, and like we're taking her picture in his jacket without her permission and everything. And so she got very annoyed. It's not the first instance of this. This has been like all year where she's dealt with bullies and harassment from other kids. But I know I'm doing something right when she just kind of, as she puts it, I just glare at them and then don't say anything, and I'm like, yes. That's how you should do it, kind of thing. But yeah, it like became this whole thing for the whole like lunch period about these girls like bugging her and the boy of like, oh, do you like each other? Are you guys secretly dating? Is that why he gave you his coat and all of this? And it's like, she literally looked at them and went, boys and girls can be just friends without wanting to date. I'm like, I taught you well. Yes.
Awesome.
Good job, kid. Like, proud mama moment there.
Clearly those girls do not have enough going on in their life to sort of seek out making stories about other people's lives.
Yeah.
A lot of immaturity going on there, and probably a lot of shame.
Yeah.
Oftentimes girls who like, ooh, it's probably because if they couldn't do it without being shamed by family and friends. So
yeah,
it's a jealousy thing too. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny because you do often see in the K-dramas alone time in public settings mostly, but it's like, it's kind of late. There's not really anyone on the street, and then they're just walking ridiculously slow for two normal people walking over. Like, who walks that slow? Nobody. But they're doing that. They're not even together yet. They're just there. They're together. And it's like that still happens. So I don't know. Maybe there's like a shift in Korea. Is there a thing going on where that would be okay-ish? Because anywhere else in the US would be fine. In Hawaii, it's totally fine, of course. Unless it's somebody has their eye on, they were like, like, fight. That's my boy. You're not even dating. That's my boy.
That happens in Love Alarm.
There you go. The cat fights.
The two main female leads are cousins, and they like one of the boys in the love triangle. The cousin also likes, and she's full of herself for one, and she never really gets over that. Like she never grows up from that really. But yeah, there's this point where like she's trying to convince her cousin to like break up with him and like let her have him basically, because she thinks, well, if he's not with my cousin, then he'll come be with me and all of this. And he wants absolutely nothing to do with her, because then like when that doesn't work, she goes to the guy and is like trying to like do the same thing, and he's like, no, go away, I don't like you, kind of thing.
It's nice when that type of character gets pushed back on the show.
Oh yeah,
it's like finally somebody did something.
Right? Yes.
All the tap goes away. It's like, okay, I can stop drinking this soju now. And it's interesting how there are these cultural and social rules about opposite sexes, like, oh, you can't really truly be friends. And even in the US, you still see that too, where people will be like, oh, men and women can't just be friends. That's just not possible. I'm like, really?
Right. Or like the whole, if you're still friends with your ex after you've broken up, then you're really not over them kind of thing. And it's like,
it's so weird.
Well, one of my exes is basically the male version of me, but more techie. So I think I'm going to keep that one as my best friend. And the other, well, I have to co-parent with him. So don't have much
ideal. It's ideal when everything works out and everyone's cool with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That exes as friends never happens here.
No, yeah.
No.
I had a student ask me about that because she was watching a lot of like American shows and talking about some of the shows that she'd watched where that happened, where it was like, they broke up but they were still friends and all of this. And she was talking about how was it her? It was either her or one of her female friends that had broken up with somebody, but they were still friends. And so like they made this joke of, oh, well, you're doing it the American way now because you're still friends with them. It's just like, does that actually happen? Like, can you still be friends afterwards in America? And I'm like, I mean, it depends on the couple, but I mean, yeah, some people are, able to do that kind of thing.
Some people have the maturity to make it happen. So.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not enough people have that maturity. Gosh, yeah. But it's funny that they said it's the American way. It's like, oh, cool. America can be known for something neat. Yay!
Right. I know that made me laugh so much when she said it. I was like, okay, you can refer to it as the American way. Sure, why not?
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
Yeah. In the K-dramas, when you start to see them, like the dating part, you don't really see that much gossip. It's not as heavy. It's the matchmaking gossip that I think is a little heavier than the actual dating gossip.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make it happen. At least the recent ones I've seen. It's like, ooh, she likes him. Yeah. Again, they're trying to set it up,
right?
And then once they're like, okay, we're bored, we're going to move on to the next thing. So,
right? Yeah. Whereas like it's the reverse in America anyway, where usually more of the gossip happens during the relationship and stuff. So yeah,
they want all that dirty laundry business. They want that. Yeah. It's like,
peeps,
mind your own business.
Yeah. I guess I've never really noticed that, but that's quite true. There is definitely a matchmaking culture here because people just don't randomly date random people. It's either a friend of a friend, and there's always soulgetting, blind dates are huge here, especially once you start getting like in your late 20s, then you get the pressure from the parents, where are you gonna marry? Where are the kids?
Yeah.
And they feel societal pressure to get married, and so they'll start going on the blind dates trying to find someone. And it's never just like, I guess there are services here that do match you up with random people, but for the most part it's always who you know. Friend of a friend, a coworker's friend, best friend's, I don't know, friend or something like that. Yeah.
So are dating apps not really a thing in Korea then?
They are, but I feel like, because I know Tinder is here, but it's not used in the same way in the West.
Gotcha.
Where it's like, yeah, Tinder is a hookup app for sure in the West, but like here it's more of like a, just meeting someone. Again, the younger generation, generally with all my comments, the younger generation is shifting and trying to move things. But yeah, well, just thinking back to all my students, all of them are like, oh, I went on a blind date. Oh, how did you meet them? Oh, it was a friend of a friend or something like that.
It's kind of interesting how that works. And in a way, maybe it's better because it's like, oh, the friend of a friend can vouch for a friend. So you feel a little bit safer going on that. And there's a sense of shame if you hook somebody up with the wrong person. It's like, you're going to make an effort there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would feel responsible some way, or just in the way, in the crossfire.
Right. Like, especially if it didn't work out, like then one or both of them might blame you and then you lose at least both one friend.
Yeah.
It could happen. Yeah. It's kind of fun. It is fun to play matchmaker. Maybe it's just because I grew up that way too. Everyone's playing matchmaker.
I've done it a few times, yeah.
even some friends now who are still single, and they're like, "Hey, if you know a guy, let me know."
My ex-husband has gotten back into dating the last few years. We've been divorced for 5 years now. And so it's just been the last like 2 or 3 years. I think that he's really kind of tried to get back into it. And I joked with him, I'm like, well, I would try to set you up with any of my friends, but you know my friends. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They're not your type and you're not their type, so I can't help you with this one.
Yeah,
you're on
put some
your
more
own.
distance there.
Yeah. So let's squirrel. That was a kangaroo squirrel? No, that was not. We almost did.
Not really. We were still on the topic
Sideways,
of relationships and different cultures. It's fine. We're still good.
We're on a roll today.
We might have had like one or two, but I think so far we're doing good.
With the K-dramas and the toxic thing, it's strange. Like I always have a double take whenever I see the guy go and just grab the girl by the arm and just like swing her around. I'm like, ow. For one, ow. Like two, like what the hell, dude? Like you do that to the wrong girl, she's gonna punch you. Like
that physical constraint is one of the, it's again still happens here, or I'm not sure what comes first, that they see it in the drama and then they do it, or they do it and then it's reflected in the drama. But physical constraint I've seen, and it's
seen it? Wow.
Dehumanizing. Yeah, either someone grabbing the wrist or even the worse, grabbing their neck.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
men grabbing the woman's neck, and when they're angry at them, and just getting close to them and like lecturing them or scolding them. And that happened to me. Unfortunately, one of my exes did that to me, and it's one of the most awful things to happen. And so I'm glad he's an ex. glad that's gone.
Very much. Yikes.
Yeah, it's this control thing. It's
really messed up. Like,
yeah.
Why?
Or
why do they feel this need to possess people?
There was a video I watched. There's a couple of YouTube channels that will compare like Western culture and Asian culture aspects, and I can't remember what it is now, but there was it was a girl and a boy that were on this episode of it, and they were talking about things like this, where, you know, things you see in K-dramas or just in Korean culture in general with dating, and how it's different. And she mentioned the wall kiss.
Oh,
yeah. And where,
and you can see the girl like fighting it, not wanting it, and just like
Right.
really forcing himself on her.
And that's usually how it's depicted too, is it's a very forceful thing, that is usually against the other person's will, because it happens in semantic error as well. So she was talking about it, and the guy was like, really, like that actually happens? And she's like, yeah, I've had it happen to me. Like, she acted like it was like a completely normal thing, and almost played it off as romantic to her, like in her view, kind of thing. And it's like, well, I can kind of see where she's coming with that, but at the same time, I don't agree with that either. Like, that does not seem romantic to me at all. So like, for it to be shown all the time in K-dramas as well is like, wow.
Yeah. Huh.
It's quite disturbing to see it in any K-drama.
Yes.
It's just like, whew.
I suppose I should explain what a wall kiss is. We should probably explain what a wall kiss is for people who are watching this that don't know later
not
on.
Literally kissing the wall.
Yeah, it's not literally kissing the wall. It is where
it usually involves a guy grabbing a girl by her wrist, swinging her around and pinning her, and she can't get free, and he's like leans in, acts like he's being romantic, and she's like obviously not having it, but he's gonna kiss her anyway, and then she just goes flop.
Yeah, she just kind of resigns herself to it, and
wrist grabbing, anything else, flop. Okay, you win. It's kind of played off like that's how the women have to do. Yeah. It's assault. That's what it is. It's assault.
Yeah, I feel just from just observing, being here, that women don't feel like they can lead in a relationship. They feel like they need to wait for the man to lead. Again, younger generation, there's that kind of pushback. There's a feminism movement, feminist, oh my gosh, words, movement here. And so hopefully, you know, things will change. But in general, yeah, women wait for the men to make the move. And if the problem is it's forceful and against their will, it's hard to tell if they're always being passive. So
yeah,
I can see that also creating a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah, definitely. And with the mention of, you know, feminist movements, I know you guys just recently elected a new president who leans a little more conservative, and ran on a more anti-feminist platform, from what I heard. So
that is disappointing. That, like, because my Korean is not good enough to follow all politics. I'm kind of getting it filtered through my husband, and there's certain things of his policies that I don't mind. But then when I heard it and started learning more about, like, him targeting those 20s, 30s men, single men who are anti-feminist, and I'm just like, ooh, no. No.
Yeah, so it got brought up a lot in my lessons leading up to the election and everything. So yeah, I learned a lot from some of my students about it. And we talked about it in the K-pop server a lot too, just because, like, I'm going over there and obviously we have a big interest in Korean culture anyway. So like a lot of us were like, oh boy, kind of thing.
I don't see it every day to day in terms of like ripples of that kind of thought or whatever. It wasn't as dramatic as like Trump getting elected and people, immigrants fearing for their lives, and just the sheer fear and terror after Trump got elected. It wasn't like that. It was just more disappointing.
Yeah, that's
that way.
That's the thing I got from my students as well, was that it was a bit more disappointing. But yeah, definitely not as like terrifying kind of thing. So yeah.
So he's got views that are not so nice, not good, but at least he's not unhinged.
Yeah, no.
That's
President
what made Trump scary.
Yeah, that's really what made Trump scary is his mental state. But President Yoon seems to be pretty well in control of himself compared to
so maybe there's like an expectance that he's not gonna go like completely screw all of whatever you guys want.
No.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, come on, can we go in the right direction, please?
Right. I think one of his other policies was taking a tougher stance on North Korea relations, right? So
it must have been a strong one for him to get elected on.
Yeah, since they've been testing missiles. So
yeah,
I think that's an important stance to have right now.
Yeah. So
Biden,
there's like the give and take. Yeah.
I was going to go off topic, but yes, I was going to start talking about
Biden was just there. Yes, we know. And all of that.
Yeah.
Now Rose is our kangaroo squirrel.
Yep. Yes, I can hop around.
Yeah, Crossbow's pretty good at it.
Those filters. It makes it just like
right. We need some filters that give us kangaroo ears or something, you know.
Something just bounces around, sticks its head out every now and then, like.
Right. I told you I'm gonna have somebody animate one so it just hops around, and then we have like a little counter somewhere about how many times.
That's what we need.
Yes. I had a counter on the last one for how many times we said, "Just wait, it gets worse."
Oh.
Yeah, that ESL book was bad. Though, I mean, 8 times in 3 hours. So take from that what you will. Just wait, it gets worse. Times 8.
It's nice to know that we won't hear that too much when talking about K-dramas, unless we're retelling something.
Right, yeah. Right. Just wait, it gets worse. No.
It's one of those like over 100 episodes ones. Yeah, just wait, it gets worse.
That would be the thing, yeah, one of the longer ones.
Yep, because they gotta keep it going. They can't just end the series. It's gotta be more drama.
Right, yeah, gotta give us all the drama.
Not enough drama. You need at least 3 fatal illnesses, 1 person getting amnesia, definitely 1 super abusive relationship, and an awkward romance triangle.
Yeah, you gotta have a love triangle in there somewhere. Sometimes it's a square.
Yep, and a very, very angry mother-in-law who's like,
yes,
my word is law. So.
Right. Yeah.
all of that. That's like the old school K-dramas. The ones on Netflix, I haven't really seen it follow that formula, and I'm very glad.
Yeah, it's not quite as much.
Not our generation. You see more powerful females showing up, except for Business Proposal. That one's disappointing. I was like, why? Why is he just a jerk? And why are you so soft? I mean, you're so smart and cool. Be better than this.
Right. I think that's like one of the worst things too, is like when it's such a great like female lead and then she falls for the toxic asshole. And it's like, why? Like, who hurt you that made you think you don't deserve better? Kind of thing. Like who hurt you, honey? Let me know.
Yeah. And for her, it's like she has a decent, well, I mean, okay, the mom's got a temper, like many Korean mamas. It's like, she's kind of decent. The guy, actually what makes that one more cringe is that she does say no. She does. Oh. And he does not back off. Like, he's not taking no for an answer on this one. Like, dude. Instead, he takes it personally, like, well, what, I'm not good looking enough. He gets all offended about it. I'm like, no, she just said no. I think maybe it's because of what you're doing, not because of what you look like. So,
right. I think that's a fairly common trope as well, from the things I've heard, from others that have watched more than I have, as like the whole, no doesn't mean no, no means convince me kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even if it clearly means no, they're still gonna say it means convince you. Right.
Right, yeah.
Let me just try harder. Yeah. Let me make your life miserable. Let me threaten you and make your work life terrible because I'm your boss and this is super awkward and you're really not going to be happy, but you're still going to end up with me because
right.
He was her boss?
He's the boss. He's her boss.
Business proposal, he's her boss.
Oh, so now there's even a layer of power dynamic.
Yeah, they love their power dynamics ones in K-dramas, I've noticed too, where it's like either he's, more rich than her or like a higher position or whatever. Like there's lots of power dynamic ones too.
Yep. And the girls often end up just being living dolls for these rich and powerful men. It's like, I'm going to take you shopping and I'm going to shower you in clothes. And that's supposed to be affection. Oh, right? You have to wear this one. I'm going to watch everything you wear. Yeah, you're allowed to wear this one. Even though it's like a little too tight on you. You wear that one.
Right.
Oh, dude. And then it's just like knowing that part about Korean culture where it feels very awkward if somebody's constantly giving you things like you want to give back. And you can't do that if it's your boss and you're a poor person and they're like supremely wealthy. Like, oh gosh, so many layers. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those dramas are popular, but I feel like even ones that break the mold and do have strong women are also popular here too. So I feel like they should just embrace, powerful leading women who, not only lead in their life, but also in a relationship. So I would love to see more. More.
Yeah, definitely.
Having them like break the traditional roles. It's very nice because it shows an openness, and K-dramas have the ability to change a society and a culture because they see that and they're like, they get influenced by it, And if they're just seeing really toxic dudes getting what they want all the time, even though it's clearly not okay, then that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Or girls will end up feeling like, oh, it's okay. Like when I was younger, I was, I grew up in a Korean home, and there's the cultural aspect there too, and then there was religious aspect on top of that. But it's like there's this thing where I'm supposed to be submissive as a girl, and it was supposed to be okay. If the guy's doing something that now I would consider very wrong, you don't do that. It's just messed up. Back then I was like, oh yeah, it's okay, it's acceptable because I was taught that way, and like the impressionable young minds are all that way. If they're not taught to think about the situation proactively, just accept it at face value, then they end up falling into the same traps we see the heroines show up in those K-dramas.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
It's a lot of that, like, oh, he's being mean to you, so he must like you. Thing that we all grew up with, I think. And like I've made a point to tell my daughter that no, that's not how you show affection. So like if he's being mean to you, that does not mean he likes you, because if that's what he thinks affection is, then you don't need to be anywhere near that kind of thing.
Run.
Yeah, because there is one boy that is just like, for pretty much the entire school year now, they finish school next week, but like it got to the point where we actually took it to the principal because he just would not leave her alone, even with her saying multiple times, like, stop saying that, stop doing that, like, I don't find it funny, like, you're annoying me, I don't like you. Like, she flat out told him, I don't like you, and he still just is like, oh, you don't want to be my friend, why don't you want to be my friend? Like, he thinks he's being funny. But he says things also that it's just like, do you even know how wrong you're using that phrase kind of thing? As one of his favorite things is that she'll say something, like, not even to him, she will say something to one of her friends about oh, well, I don't like this or I don't like that or whatever, they're just having a conversation, and he'll chime in thinking he's being funny, and he'll go, So you're racist then? And it was nothing about race. It was, they're all white kids in this friend group, in this context of this situation. Like there's no kids of color in this situation. She's not making any comments like that because we're not a household like that, and all of this. And she just looks at him like, what? Like, how is that racist? Like I'm not saying anything that is, because she knows what that would be, kind of thing. And like he just kept saying things like that, or like she'd tell him to leave her alone, and he'd go, well, that's racist. And it's like, no, it's not.
Just trying to provoke her and trying to get a rise out of her. Yeah.
There was a time period where him and a friend of hers were intentionally like doing annoying things to her because they wanted to see what reaction they would get out of her. Kind of thing. Like, and eventually the friend stopped, but the boy kept doing it, and like it's been all year. So I finally was like, you know, you're getting so stressed out that like you're making yourself sick. Like she lost her appetite for a while because she was so stressed about seeing him at school, and she only has like 1 or 2 classes with him out of the whole day. So I finally, like, she didn't know I was doing it, but I went to the principal that morning and I said, like, I told him everything that had been going on that she had told me, and stuff. And so then like he talked to the boy about it, and for a while it stopped, and now it started up again. It's like, okay. I'm like, look, you only have 1 more year before you come to Korea with me. Hopefully next year you have like no classes with him and you don't have to deal with him. And she's like, yes, that's the goal, is no classes with him.
Or he moves away, even better.
Yeah, that's probably not very likely, but yeah, I'm like, you just have to get through 1 more year and then you're free of him for at least a year, kind of thing. So yeah.
Man, I'm sorry she's dealing with that. It sucks.
Yeah. Like, you only got 1 more week and then you have the summer off from him, so it's okay.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Bullies. Yeah. Bullies are a pain in the ass. Ugh.
Yes. You see a lot of bullying in K-dramas too, on that note.
Yeah.
So
that's still a real thing here too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know which country has it worse really with bullying in terms of like severity, because
it's as far as I know, it's bad here.
Yeah, because yours actually gets more physically violent than ours does, I think.
It used to be even worse too. Like there used to be physical discipline in the classroom and things like that.
My mom has stories of that.
I bet she does.
Yeah, so it felt like it was more physical violence was a bit more acceptable in solving a situation, solving a problem. Yeah. My husband has stories of, getting into fights or dealing with that power dynamic or getting bullied and there's unfortunately news articles, come out and be like, well, this person committed suicide because they were bullied, or
there's a scandal going on with Hybe's new girl group because of that.
Oh, I heard about that. Oh.
She's only 16, so it's not like it was an old story either. To Phil, Nakita, and everyone else watching this later. And Hybe, who is the same agency like for BTS and TXT and Hypen, all of them, they just debuted a new girl group, Le Seraphim, and their youngest member, who is 16, is now facing I think they're pressing criminal charges, the family, right? Because she bullied this girl in school like 4 years ago. So they were like 12, 13 years old. And it got to the point where the girl switched schools because it was so bad for her, because everybody was doing it to her once the member started. And even after she switched schools and was trying to get away from it, like kids at the new school found out, and so it just like piled on even at the new school, And then she sees
Wow.
her abuser become a K-pop idol despite all of this. And it just sent her over the edge, and she did try to kill herself. And the family didn't even want any compensation or anything. They just wanted Hybe to acknowledge it and an apology from the member.
Mm-hmm.
And Hybe has handled it in the worst way.
Yeah.
Deny,
Oh.
deny, deny. And
Wow.
even I think one translation that we found was also that they were saying, well, she couldn't have been a bully because she was bullied herself. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that was their first stance.
that was their first stance. And it's like, just because
Wow.
you were bullied doesn't mean you can't bully somebody else. It
Very
does
true.
happen.
In fact, a lot of bullies come from homes where they're being bullied, so there's that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they haven't really changed their stance any from what we've seen. And then like the victims' attorneys are like, look, you either make this statement or we release all the evidence we have, and that's going to be really bad for you. And Hybe is still just like, nope. I think now they have removed her from promotions, at least, so they're only promoting with 5 members, because I think they have 6 members. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes, but Hybe doesn't have a good track record with girl groups either, so this is like already a really bad start for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that the bullying scandals with K-pop groups, it's a true thing. That bullying is just so pervasive here. And so it's not surprising that it's bled into the industry, and the victims see them get successful and can't help but feel that they need to speak out.
Yeah, and like in that case, I completely understand, like, because that can be so triggering for that girl because it's still so fresh. And then last year there was one with 17 member Mingyu.
Oh.
Did you not hear about that one?
No.
It ended up being proven false, thankfully, because Mingyu is such a sweetheart. But it was a very big deal, and Pledis, even though they're a subsidiary of Hybe, handled it way better than Hybe is handling this one. Regularly, Pledis put out statements about where the investigation was and what they were doing to assist in the investigation and everything. And Mingyu voluntarily stopped his promotions and group activities during that time, because he felt it wasn't right, regardless of anything, for him to continue promoting. And it turned out that it all started because of a mistranslation done by a fan.
Oh no.
So what happened was this girl who was bullied, who happened to go to the same like after school program that Mingyu did, she was bullied there, and they were in the same class, but she never actually said his name in her post about it. But this fan translated it, and people were making assumptions that it was Mingyu that she was talking about. And it blew up, and that's when like Pledis started investigating and everything. And it turned out that no, like finally the girl at one point stepped forward again and was like, I wasn't talking about him. I was told to write a journal as part of my therapy and post it to kind of help me deal with things. And that's the only reason it got posted in general. And just like, she flat out, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Words.
Stated. There we go. Words are hard, and we teach words for a living. Good job.
We're just overwhelmed by words.
We are.
Yes.
We are. Words are hard. Okay. But yeah, she like flat out stated like, no, like, yes, he was in the same class as me, but like he never participated in it. Like when the other boys were making jokes about me, he never like laughed at those jokes or anything. Like yeah, he didn't defend her, but like he didn't participate in it. And that's where people were getting very like attacking Mingyu of, well, like, why were you being a bully, and like all of this, just absolutely believing that he had done these things, and it was just like, no, he didn't, kind of thing. So
is his reputation okay after
yeah,
that?
his reputation is okay, because between the original victim saying that and then an investigation into an additional supposed victim being proven false, because that victim was like, oh yeah, he did it to me too, and, you know, and like from this time frame to this time frame, well, she wasn't supplying any evidence, and they found her in a yearbook and she wasn't even there at the same time he was. So they were like, yeah, no, you're not accurate, you know, kind of thing. So yes, his reputation isn't intact, thankfully.
Yeah, it sucks like when something like that happens, and if somebody is innocent, somehow the facts of it don't really reach far enough, so people are just like, oh, pox on him, even though it has nothing to do with him in the end.
Yeah,
it does happen. Yeah, the two ways things can go wrong. Either you're too super guilty and you're being silly trying to deny it. Like, really, what's the point of trying to deny something like that in this world? Like,
right,
the internet is here. Like,
right.
what nothing is free. If it's there, it's gonna be found. Yep. There's no hiding it yet. So
yeah. Many things of society reflected in K-dramas.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
How about let's switch to a nicer, lighter topic. Food.
Food
in
in
K-dramas.
Oh my
gosh.
It's almost like food in anime where it just looks so good. Yes.
I'm like dying every time I see a meal. I'm like, I know. Now. I just need it, please.
Yes, definitely.
There's food everywhere. Not only K-dramas here, but also reality TV shows all sorts of. You just see food is such a draw for everyone here. It's just people just their minds are on food and their motivation is food. Me too. I think
like
it's a human thing.
My cat is very food motivated too. Well, one of them
tapping into our monkey brains.
Right. Yes.
Food. Now I'm hungry. Darn it.
Right.
2 a.m. munchies. I must resist. Food. Yep. Okay, what is your favorite dish that you've seen on a TV show?
I always love it when they grill meat. I'm a sucker for meat.
Oh, it looks so good every time.
Pork belly or even, beef or anything like that. Then I'm just like, I'm down.
Yeah, it definitely looks so good when they're grilling. Like, nothing grilled here looks that good. How bad is that? Like, nothing in the US when it's being grilled looks that good.
Yeah. The one that always gets me is tteokbokki. I'm just seeing it freshly made, and I'm just like, give me,
I cannot wait to have fresh tteokbokki, because like here, obviously, we're in the Midwest. Nothing is fresh when it comes to Korean stuff, first of all. So you either have like the instant cup tteokbokki, or usually I have some in my freezer too. Like we have like what do we have?
You have the rice and the omelette.
She's seen pictures
The duck. You have the duck in the freezer.
The
You have to
actual
cook it
rice
yourself.
cake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have both like the flat like tukuk ones and then like the rod ones as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They
Visual
have
there.
names. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
Tteokbokki duck.
Stop. Yeah.
Yep. I can make it fresh. I can have eaten a whole bowl of it, and if I watch a K-drama and it shows there, I'm hungry all over again.
Right? That's the worst part.
The food is so good looking. Or oh gosh, the historical dramas. And you see the kitchen staff just preparing the whole spread there.
Right?
Oh, the paten. I'm like, I want
Yes.
You can get that style here. Yeah, they call it handongshik, which is like the Korean traditional set. Yeah, you totally can get meals like that. I had a really good one last weekend with my mother-in-law and my husband, and I was just like, the whole time. It was just so good.
Eating
Yeah,
like
totally.
royalty. Woo!
Right.
Mhm. And even there's even like a more advanced one that you can go to. So usually when you get married, before you get married, the parents are supposed to meet. And there's a special name of the event, and typically they go to one of those traditional places where they have so many dishes, they put it on a giant board and it's pre-set out. So when they come to the table, they just wheel this board on a cart with all the food and slide the board onto the table, because setting all those dishes up would take too long. So you have your rice, you got every side dish imaginable, like you got your meats. It's you can't finish everything. It's impossible.
That sounds awesome.
Mhm.
The work that
Yeah.
goes into it just to make all of that, even just to make one dish, it takes quite a bit of effort.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, like see,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I haven't made that one in so long. Now I really want to make it. I can't find the right spinach on here.
Tomorrow I'm making japchae and jjangmyeon.
I'm impressed, you guys. That's
I make japchae like once a month, so like that's not a big deal to me.
That's amazing.
It'll be my first time making jjangmyeon. What else have we made? Hotuk.
Hotdog. Oh wow.
From scratch and using a box mix. I've done both.
Oh, good for. Oh my god, I'm here being lazy. I just buy it.
Well, we found a really good box mix that works better, and is easier than trying to do it from scratch. So I do that now. What else have we made? What's it called? I have to look it up.
Can you describe it?
It's what is the English name? It's like royal tteokbokki or something like that. Royal rice cake. Gungjang.
Oh.
Tteokbokki? Yeah, gungjang tteokbokki. Let me picture. I want a picture.
All right.
I had to teach myself how to make kimchi finally, because you don't buy kimchi out here in Portugal. Yeah.
We buy it out here. Good luck trying to find the spices for that.
It's very hard to find the spices here too. And like, I almost cried because I thought I wouldn't find it. It was the fish sauce that was the hardest thing to find. It was fish sauce.
So here, this is what I was.
Oh, I'm sharing the screen. Okay.
Yeah, because Nikita's. Nikita doesn't usually look things up. I just know her.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I have
we
had
made
this
that.
before.
We've made that a couple of times now, I think. Yeah. And then stop sharing. What else have I made? What else? I'm trying to think. Gimbap. I've made gimbap.
Somebody was over here. There's like because it's Memorial Day weekend. There's a whole bunch of immigrants from US. They're like, oh yeah, we're all gonna meet up. And then one person was like, oh, I'll make Korean sushi rolls. I'm like, Call it by its name, lady. Call it by its name.
Because it's not the same as sushi anyway.
Yeah.
Don't compare it to sushi. They're different.
Like there's a difference.
Just because it's stuff wrapped in rice and seaweed does not make it sushi.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I'm still impressed that she's going to make it out here. I'm like,
Yeah.
too bad I can't go to the picnic.
I find it hilarious when I tell my student that I've made something or that I'm making something Korean, because she gets so impressed because she can't cook. She's like, I'm terrible at cooking all the time. She says it, and I'm like, okay. like I made gimbap for the first time, and she's like, oh wow, it turned out really great for your first time, and I was like, okay. she's like I can't make gimbap at all, and I'm like, it wasn't that hard. But yes, I love
can't
her.
Or haven't tried.
I should ask her. I don't know. Because
most of it's just haven't tried. It's intimidating. It's an intimidating looking dish.
Right? But it's really not as hard as people think it is. So yeah, it's not too bad. What else? I've only made it once. Doenjangjjigae?
된장찌개, the soybean.
Yes.
A good one.
Yeah, it was all right for my first time. I could probably do better. But I have this time I have a pouch of the pre-made soup base that I'm going to use instead.
It's hard to get the right balance with that.
Yeah. And when Ciara and I went to see ATEEZ in concert in January in Chicago, there's a Korean barbecue place that she's been to, so we went there and we ordered it there, and I was like, okay, that's better than what I made. Not that the bar was set very high, but I was like, yeah, that one's better.
I think Koreans believe that Korean food is difficult. So, like, I think I've kind of bought into that belief too, where I'm just, oh, you made, tteokbokki, you've done all this stuff, oh, great, like, kimbap, oh, yeah. But yeah, I think there's that pervasive idea, so then people just go like, oh, it's too hard, I'm not gonna make it.
Or just because it has like unfamiliar ingredients, they're like, oh no, kind of thing. Like, what else have I made? We make things from other countries, usually at least once a month. And what else have we had? What have I made? Takoyaki from Japan.
Takoyaki!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's not technically takoyaki because we didn't use octopus, but we used shrimp. Try finding octopus in Iowa, okay?
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes.
How did you form them? Because usually they have the special mold.
Yeah, I bought one. I bought a takoyaki maker. So it's just like a cheap one. So it's not like too fancy or anything, but it works. And it's useful for making great, now I forgot what it is. It's a Dutch pancake.
Oh, they're called, like, Dutch has a little tiny pancakes?
Yeah. I know what it is, and I can't think of it. Confiteries, there we go. But yeah, I can use it for that too, because it's the same type of
Paninko?
No.
No. Okay.
Good try, Nakita. Usually Nakita has the answer.
It's like Dutch pancake, Dutch baby.
Not a Dutch baby. They're like just little pancakes that are about this big. And they puff up just a little bit. But yeah, they're confiteries. Don't ask me to try to spell it because I can't. Not off the top of my head. I know there's a J in there somewhere. But yeah, what else have we made?
That is a hard thing to spell. Oh my gosh.
You just looked it up, didn't you?
I did.
I just found it too.
It is, yes. Yeah, good luck spelling that one without help.
Puffers?
Puffereries.
How does that J get in there?
That's the Dutch. Let's see. We made falafel one time. It needs some work before I do it again. We make hummus sometimes, though.
Give me your recipe, please, because recently going to the US, we ate so much hummus because you cannot find it in the grocery stores here. You have to make it your own, or order it from someone who does.
I'll make you hummus all the time then. It's fine.
We will love you forever.
I can make you a chocolate dessert hummus too.
What is this magic? I'm with you.
Yes. I'm at a loss for words.
We found dessert hummus in one of the grocery stores here a while ago, and they have like a dark chocolate one, a vanilla bean one, and I think it's like a snickerdoodle, so like a cinnamon sugar type one. The only one I've been able to reliably recreate is the chocolate one. But yeah, it's actually not as hard as people think to make hummus.
It sounds amazing. Yeah,
it's so good. Like I would eat so much of it if I made it all the time. So like I try not to make the dessert one too much.
It's hard. The really tasty ones. Like, I'm just gonna eat it all now. Yep.
Yes.
Yummy.
Yeah.
I recently tried to make chichidango. That's hard. It's just like so sticky. Oh, it's really hard. It's so delicious though. Yeah, have you guys tried that before?
What's
It's basically mochi. It's the one that has like 2 or 3 colors in it. Usually they give it out during Boys' Day or Girls' Day in Japan. It's very common in Hawaii because we have such a strong Japanese community there. They even serve it on the school lunches on those special days. Well, at least they used to when I was in school. So who knows?
Very cool.
Yeah. But that's so tough to make. Mochi is hard to cook up. I don't know how they do it from scratch with the pounding. No thanks. I'll just buy the flour. Yeah. Skip a few steps.
Right.
With Korean cooking, it feels like it's not that it's so hard. Sometimes it can be like getting the amounts right. Especially when it comes to garlic. I hate how like half the recipes are like, oh, just put one clove of garlic. Like, what
No.
What do you want? What do you mean?
As many
one
as
clove
you
of garlic.
feel. And cook with your feelings.
Or like,
No, it's never just yes.
Yes.
Even my mother-in-law always puts in a ton of garlic. So yeah.
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 Like that's key, very key. And some of it can be very time consuming to make. The kimchi is very time consuming.
Yeah.
Just to mix
one of my
everything.
favorites is ton, which is
like
the fried. You can have it in a variety of different things that you fry up, but you can have like, the meats or the veggies. That takes so long. So long. It's just you gotta wait for it to cook, flip it over again, and then the pan is only so big, so then you put it to the side, another load. Yeah. Yep.
Time consuming.
Yep.
And very greasy too with some of them. Like
some of
making
them,
ton. Very greasy. Need an outdoor stove because you use too much oil everywhere afterward. Or find somehow to do it in the air fryer.
Good luck with that one. You experiment and tell us how it works.
Yeah. After I blow up the house trying.
And we never heard from Nakita again.
One day.
Right?
I heard if you like prep it, freeze it, and then try to use the air fryer with it, and it works. So, yeah. That's a lot of work too.
Yes. Yeah. I'm all for less steps. Yeah.
Yep. Minimum possible. Thank you.
Yep. My favorite dish of my mother-in-law's is dumplings.
Mandu.
Mandu, yeah.
Yes.
So she'll make the she'll make the inside.
I've done it. Done that too.
It's mandu is the thing where like you have to make a whole bunch at once, and we've done this.
Yes.
Where you have like a huge tub full of the filling, and you have packets and packets and packets of the tea to wrap it in. And everybody comes over, we all just chit chat and gossip and make it together all night long. And that's it. Then you're good. You don't have to think about it. But the problem is, after making that many mandu, you don't really want to eat it. So I'm sick of looking at it.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yep.
Problem for us is freezing it. So the most recent batch that we got, we made the inside at my mother-in-law's place, but then we brought it back home and had the mandupi, the outsides, and we wrapped them ourselves, but we don't have a very big freezer. So you're actually supposed to put them on a tray and freeze them individually and then put them in a bag together. But we were impatient. We're like, oh, let's just sprinkle a little flour on them, put them together, it'll be fine. But then now they've just solidified into one giant lump of dumplings.
Just those giant mandu that you see.
Yeah, they formed a new creature.
Mandu monster.
Mm-hmm.
Mandu eats you. You are the filling.
Right.
Right there, along with kangaroo squirrels. Now we have two things to write about. I have two pictures to draw. Two pictures. I need to write that one down because I still haven't made the picture. I keep wanting to do it and I haven't gotten around to it. Time. Why is there so little time?
Right. Just go on Fiverr and be like, give me your best kangaroo squirrel.
Right.
Avatar: The Last Airbender style, give me your best kangaroo squirrel.
No.
Right.
I barely have time for crochet. Maybe I should crochet when I have the time. Which is
never.
Yeah.
I haven't crocheted in forever either. I should make something. I don't know what.
It's so much fun. It helps me calm down.
Yeah, it's a nice relaxing one.
Yeah.
As long as the pattern's not complicated.
I made my son an axolotl. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
Oh, fun.
It was cute. He's like, he played with it for one day and he's like, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Something I wanted to do was to crochet food. I want to crochet Korean dishes. Because you can't find play food other than the generic Western dishes. And I'm like, I need some Asian food in my play food for my kids because hello, this is what we really eat. So it's not just the regular American style. No. I did make a mandu. That worked out. I don't know where I put it.
That's me every time one of my students is like, oh, show me your whatever we're talking about, if it's art or something, and I'm like, there's not one near me. Let me pull up my Instagram. Let me show you that way.
I need to start doing that, Instagramming it all. Otherwise it's just hiding. This is the only thing I have on hand. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, it's a really tiny one. That's adorable.
Yeah. Derpy guinea pig.
Oh, I love it.
Always good to know something to do. Keep your hands busy. Recently, I've been doing cross stitching.
Oh, nice! A friend of mine does that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun. It makes for a good baby towel gift. I found here for both my kids, I did it based off of their zodiac, of the lunar calendar zodiac.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they have the hooded part, and that part was just the graph area for cross stitching. And I made a whole thing. So my daughter's got a baby chicken, and my son's got a baby sheep. So. Yeah.
I did a poster style. What is it called? It has all the information of the baby, the name, the date, birth time, baby.
Yeah.
All
it was a baby gift.
I know.
Baby info gift. Yeah. But made it for a friend.
Cool.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the title of it was, but
all the birth infos.
The
memories. There's something that it's interesting about K-dramas and kids. They act so mature.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
So it's like, that kid looks quite young. Why are they so mature at that age? Compared to a kid in the US, I try to picture if they were in a similar situation. Like, no, they wouldn't act that way. They wouldn't. Yeah, it just wouldn't happen.
Right.
Mhm.
I was looking for what a friend of mine that does cross stitch. She did a Star Trek themed one, like a whole big
Ooh.
blanket. That's what I was looking for. I was trying to find it on her
Oh my
Instagram.
gosh, that sounds like quite the endeavor.
It was. Is this the completed one? Yeah, okay, here, I'll show you guys. So this is it completed. You have the definition of doctor for bones. And then you have a tribble.
Wow, a little bit of everything.
It says, I knew you were tribble when you walked in.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Save the red shirts, the whales from the movie. Yeah, lots of stuff.
Wow.
intense. Wow.
Yeah. It took her a little over a year to like stitch it all and put it on the blanket and everything.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
that
doubt
is a
it. That looks
huge
like a lot of
project.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I actually have a couple to put in here too from cross stitch. I used to do cross stitch, and then I found crochet. Where did I put it? I hate it how like I'll find a whole bunch of project ideas and I'll just like hoard the ideas and I don't have time to get to them.
Yes, as a writer, I feel that
Yeah.
so much.
And lately I commute to work, so I ride my bicycle half an hour each way, and I'll have my phone in one hand. I'm like, oh, that's a cool song idea, so I'll start like recording it, and then it's just gonna sit there loading up my phone for half a year more because I don't have time to get to it. Time. Why time? So little time. I can't find it. I made some. I had found an apron, a blank one, and I cross stitched some Korean motifs, like the jar, the traditional earthen jar. I put a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of those on there. It was a gift for my mom. And I think I also found kimbap, and I cross stitched a kimbap on there. I have to find it now. Ah, shucks. It's gonna bother me that I can't find it. I don't know where it's hiding. Somewhere. I probably hid it in. Oh, there it is. I did find it. Oh yeah, I also found hanbok. Korean cross stitching hanbok. Let's see.
Awesome.
I can share my screen and share it. Oh, why is it so tiny? Oh, that's right, because it is tiny. It's so tiny because it's my paint.net. Because I had to do it like dot by dot.
Mm.
Yeah, to make the pattern. There it is. Okay. That's the hanbok one.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where did you typically find? Did you make it or did you
I don't remember
find the
if
pattern?
I found a similar pattern and I had to modify it a little bit. This one. And I did the same with this one. Zoom. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Oh, that's so cute.
oh my
Smiley face.
gosh. The smiley face on the dumpling is everything.
Right?
Yep.
I love it.
These ones I would like look around and find ideas, and then I just like, okay, I can do something like that. So I made these ones myself. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they turned out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to stitch it too. I can send you the pattern if you want it.
Very, very cute.
And then here's the jars, which are also going to be
Good.
extremely tiny because that. Ta-da! They look more like Greek earthenware jars. I tried to get the pattern, but Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
shape
patterns
looks
are
ish. Yeah.
Mm,
It's hard to get the pattern. But it was
yeah.
fun. Fun projects. Yeah. Oops. Why was it saying save? I have no idea. There you go. Yay.
So, Nikita, are you part of the crew that's coming over here, or are you going to be kind of staying put?
I wish. I'd love to come to Korea. It's on my bucket list.
She'll come
I
visit
will
us
one day. Yes, I get to come visit. I have like a bunch of family members I've never met, so like aunties and uncles, and maybe a lot of second cousins, like a lot. Yeah. So I don't know, but one day. For now, I'm just staying on the other side of the planet in Portugal. Yeah, just recently fled the U.S. 2 years, so yeah, this is my thing. So yeah.
One move at a
And-
time.
right?
Yeah. Gotta get fluent in Portuguese, and then I also need to get fluent in Korean. I want to be fluent before I go, which might be a little harder to do. So,
To be honest, you wouldn't necessarily have to. So,
yeah,
yeah, you can get around quite a bit. I would recommend learning Hangul for sure, the reading and the writing, and most
that I know.
ordering a menu, basic things. But yeah,
I'm
you
like-
can navigate around.
I'm like higher A1/A2 level because I've tried
Good.
multiple times to pick it up. My mom and my grandma would speak it in the house together all the time, mostly shouting at each other, and I just never picked it up. Many false starts trying to get a hang of it. But it's one day. Mostly, I want to be like capable of conversing because family members. It'd be nice to talk to them in Korean. I feel like
Yeah.
have that connection, and also start reading manhwa in Korean would be nice too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so excited that you guys are going to Korea. You guys are all going to be there. I have more people to see. I have like every time somebody I know goes there, I have more reasons to be there and go visit because
Eventually you'll
have so
actually
many
go.
people to it's gonna happen.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Might have to wait a couple of years with my kids, but it will happen. Yeah.
There's plenty of things for kids to do here. Yeah, they have a lot of good facilities here for kids. Kids cafes or museums or, a lot of outdoor things, playgrounds everywhere because of all the apartment complexes. So my sister has 2 sons, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And, she's worried about that too. Oh, when they get older, they'll go. I'm like, you come anytime. There's plenty of things for them to do. It's the airplane ride, I'm sure. It's the biggest hurdle to get over.
That's one of them. The other part is like, we just got here and I want to go home. Like, really? They do that all the time. We're trying to drive somewhere. Mommy, I'm car sick. Mommy, I'm hungry. You just ate. You just ate. Really? How can you be car sick and hungry at the same time? Seriously?
Right? Kids, man.
Oh, fun times. Yeah. Let's see. Living in Korea, what is the coolest thing so far for you?
The ease of getting around.
Yeah.
Public transportation
Oh,
is
that's
just
awesome.
wonderful. I find that there are buses well, because I live in, the suburbs of Seoul, so buses are everywhere. I live 7-minute walk from a station. Just the ease of getting around and the ease of access to food and restaurants and everything is just so nice. Banks, I mean, like any hospitals, clinics, everything is all nearby, which is
That's
a
awesome.
bonus. Yeah.
You're in Seoul?
Yeah, southeast of Seoul. Yeah. So technically the suburbs, one of the satellite cities, so
Cool.
yeah. So it's not as super dense as downtown Seoul, but not outside where it's like getting rural yet. So
It's something that's happens when you see a lot of shows about a place and people start to get ideas. Like people see a lot of American shows and they they have ideas about the way we are in America. So what do K-dramas totally blow out of the water exaggerate about Korea?
Yes, number one is size of houses.
There you go.
Everything is big in well, because of filming and just the sets and everything, everything is big. Like if you live there, you must be a millionaire. Like it just, the typical family houses here are small, very small. So that would be number one. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like cars or like car accidents. They do happen here, I guess maybe, but maybe not the frequency as in K-dramas. People do drive really nice cars, so that's kind of a truth.
Really?
Oh yeah, they keep their cars in very good condition.
Status symbol.
Yeah, like they clean their cars all the time. The interior is usually very clean. They're very good at maintaining cars here. Yeah, what are some kind of false things I'll have to think about as well? That's a good question. People are dressed nice too here, so I can't say that that's not a
they do dress nice?
Thing. Oh, they do. Yeah, Koreans are so good at like maintaining their, getting their hair done, getting their nails done, like wearing nice clothes. Yeah, for sure.
There's always the thing where they're driving in the K-drama and somehow they have a magical ability to skip time. So that's definitely not going to be one of the true ones, right? You can't cross all of Seoul in 2 minutes. That doesn't work.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. There's a lot of traffic, and the things are close, so it can depend if it is just a hop over the river, they could do that. But yeah, if they're going from like Gangnam to Mapo or Ilsan, which is like opposite directions, then yeah, that takes like hour and a half.
How is the river? Like in some K-dramas, it seems to be like a really, really pretty clean river. Is it really well maintained? Or
downtown, no. Downtown, no. It looks very muddy.
The nice side of the river, huh?
If you go east more, it kind of flows up a little bit more to Gapyeong. That area is nice. Nami Island is an island that's been featured in a lot of K-dramas. I forget which one, some of the older ones, but there's Nami Island, and that area is quite nice. Yeah, but the Han River, yeah, I don't know. Some parts are, but if you actually see it downtown, you're going to look at it and be like, I don't want to go in there.
Just like all city rivers then.
Right.
Yeah. But some people do like, what is it called, wakeboarding, or they do paddleboarding. They do paddleboarding on
it's
the
Han over there, huh?
Or they do the duck boats.
Yeah,
with the paddles. They have those. Yeah, those are some things people do on the river. Yeah,
that's cool. It's nice to see paddleboarding like reaching around, because I don't see it in too many places here. It's not really caught on. It's kind of expensive and it's hard to find a board. Yeah, but it was everywhere in California, of course.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
I remember when it first started coming out. So now it's like that here. So I guess it's going to change. But it's cool to see that it's in Korea too. It becomes a big thing.
Yeah, and surfing kind of, I don't know if it's now, but there was kind of a popularity surge for surfing because like on the East Coast, there are apparently some okay beaches that you can do it on. Probably nowhere near as Hawaii or California, but people go out for the weekend and go to the East Coast and do that.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, you can find little niches of any sort of hobby. You just kind of have to look for it a little harder here, or know someone that does it.
Are there like a lot of posts looking for extras on those K-dramas?
Oh, that is a good question.
'Cause there's so many of them.
I don't
like
know.
you always find a token English speaker in there, and in some of the older ones, I'm like, where did they dig this person up? That's not English. It's like terrible acting.
Oh, speaking of like really bad portrayals of English speakers in K-dramas, Squid Game.
Oh,
It was so bad. Oh my god, that was even worse than like a typical American. Like it was so bad. I watched that and I was just like, is that what they really think we're like?
I don't know where they dug them up from.
Oh, it was terrible.
It's quite surprising. I'm like, surely they know. We don't know. That's not, no.
Yeah.
I want to get a little bit authentic. It can't be that hard to find an English speaker out there.
Because they do. I mean, there's like a show every week on Sundays called Surprise, and it's a reenactment show, and they talk about like historical mysteries, or they, retell an interesting historical something. And they use, English actors here or Western actors here. And yeah, just the acting will be so bad, but it's on purpose because it's a reenactment show. Yeah. Oh,
that kind of bad acting.
What happened to you, my wife, or something like that?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, maybe they think they can get away with it, so people don't know, or
maybe.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, geez, so shame. Why with this acting? Do better.
One thing I will mention is that I always feel like, because the land is so small, people have seen filming, or they've seen celebrities in real life more often than they would in the West. I guess if you live in LA, then maybe you would come across someone famous, but here in Seoul, things are so small, you would just kind of run into a filming or things like that. I happen to live in an area with a lot of cafes, and so I do see filming here because the location is so nice that people they block off a cafe, they bring the sets and the lighting, or they don't bring the set, they bring the lighting and the actors and the cameras and everything. And so occasionally in the spring and the fall, I'll see some filming here. And I got to see 2PM's Wooyoung.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just 2 weeks ago. They happened to be filming some commercial in the skate park. So I'm like waiting to see if there's some sort of commercial or ad coming out. But yeah, it's just because of like the size. I think the land is so small.
It's the same feeling in Hawaii. So it's such a popular destination for filming. So we often see a lot of actors there just chilling, wearing their most, like down to earth clothing, walking around. Quite a few times. Or the sets too. So
we don't have that luck in Iowa.
Yeah.
We have a few actors that were born here, but other than that, yeah. Part of the movie Twister was filmed here.
Oh, hey.
Field of Dreams. But other than that, Iowa's not got much luck with that. We have Ashton Kutcher and Jason Momoa.
There you go.
And I think Elijah Wood. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one. But yeah, we have some famous actors that were born here.
That may or may not visit now and then, maybe.
Jason Momoa does.
He does?
Yes. He was actually just here like a few months ago in Des Moines. Yeah.
It's so interesting because like he spends a lot of time in Hawaii too now.
Yeah,
he shows up there, which is like, oh wow. It tells, it's like part of the story where you have a lot of people from Hawaii who move to the mainland because, opportunities, and we get priced out. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. But at least we get to go back. Yeah. It's always random when you run into an actor. It's like, I don't know, being in a place where you see a lot of actors, you don't really freak out about it too much. Unless it's somebody that you really, really, really like. Then you're like, ah!
Right.
Give me an autograph! Ah!
For example, who have you seen?
Oh gosh, let's see. The crew, all the casts from Lost. Like,
Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah, that makes
You could drive
sense.
up to the North Shore and you'd see the whole airplane thing from the first scene just sticking out of the sand. It was there. Yep. I was working at a bookstore during that time, and a few times they walked in. I got to see one of their sets when they were filming. So Dominic Monaghan. I have a picture with him actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's cool. Evangeline Lilly. She got mad at me because I couldn't find her book in the bookstore.
Oops.
Like, I'm sorry. I just clocked in and they moved stuff around. I'm sorry. I was like, what book is this? And then some of the other characters from the show. The one that made me go, ah, was the bad guy from Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He walked in, I was like, it's him. Find something. I need an autograph. He signed it, your soul is mine. I'm like, thank you. It's definitely more memorable. I've seen Adam Sandler's like movie buddy. Oh gosh, his name escapes me. The one that always plays like the comic relief. What's his face? Shoot.
Oh, he has a lot of like just very cultural characters, or
Yeah, that one.
oh, what's his face?
Oh gosh.
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's very distinct.
Yeah, he always plays the strange character or the oddball.
You can do it. That guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
guy.
gosh, who is it?
I was working at a restaurant in Waikiki, and he walked in one afternoon just randomly talking to the manager. I guess they knew each other or something. So, I don't know. Yeah, random things like that. It just happens often. Sometimes you don't even
Rob
know
Schneider.
you're walking past them. Schneider, yes, Rob Schneider. That's the one.
I just
All
looked up
names.
Waterboy. Well, every day when I see him.
The only time it becomes a big issue when a celebrity's in town is if it's the president, because the traffic's already horrendous, and then he comes in town and the traffic's even worse. So.
Yep.
That's the only time. What's been like the biggest uproar about celebrities in Korea and Seoul?
Whenever the Marvel people come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Korea, they love going to the movies, and they love Marvel movies and superhero movies. Oh yeah. There's a big cult following. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't even say cult because it's such a huge series, but yeah. So whenever they come, there's a big hubbub, and presidential people like Biden, when Biden came, that was big. Who else? Anybody who has a good reputation here and says they love Korea, Koreans will like fall in love with them instantly. Oh, you love Korea? You come here often? We love you. And
Jack Black.
Jack Black. Oh yes. Oh, when he came. Oh, he was on one of the reality shows here. Did you guys see it?
I saw a clip of it.
Oh my God, I have never laughed that hard. It's so good. There was an old show called Infinity Challenge, and there's like 5-6 comedians that are in the lineup, and basically they just challenge themselves to do weird things. So some of the earlier episodes were like, can I outrun a train? Or can we pull this large, heavy thing? But it kind of evolved into just like a variety show, kind of, where they would still have challenges, but they would have fun and mini games and things like that. And so Jack Black was a guest on one of the shows, and Jack Black was perfect energy, and like Jack Black was nonstop, like, yeah, let's do this, yeah, let's have fun, and like cracking jokes. And I'll have to find that clip.
I forgot about it. I have to go watch it too. It's been a while.
Yeah, there's one mini game where they had like a pyramid, I think, and they had to try to get up there was like a box of different mini games, and they had to try to get to the top. And then one of the mini games was the pantyhose. They had like put pantyhose over their faces, and it was pulled up, and the faces that they were making, their noses, and just like, I forget, they had to like eat something or grab something, and the pantyhose was like holding them back. I'm trying to remember exactly, but
I definitely remember the face thing going on with that. That's it.
Yes.
It was funny.
Yeah. Jack Black, A++.
Very, very welcome, because he's so funny.
He's amazing. I love him.
I love his energy levels. Some people get annoyed by it, like they think it's like too much. But I'm like, dude, no, it's so cool. It's on fire. Yes, more of that. Yay. See, so since they like Marvel, is there like a huge cosplay thing? Do they do it?
I mean, they do have some conventions, like anime conventions, and there is cosplay, but it's definitely more contained. It's not as public. Yeah, I would say. It's kind of people who are just really into that and in that circle. And because I was super into anime before I got into Korean culture, and I went to anime conventions a lot. And so once I got here, I was like, well, do they have anime conventions here? Do they have cosplay? And they do, but it's not a lot of like, oh, I made my own costume. It was more like, oh, I bought this costume, or I hired someone or commissioned this from someone who actually is a professional. And so the looks that come out are usually pretty good. Cool. Yeah, people who are really into it. So, and Halloween would be the only other time I think people would dress up, but Halloween is a very Western thing. So it's only in certain areas of the city that'll do it, like Itaewon, the foreigner area, and Hongdae, which is like the party area. So yeah,
it might start growing later. Halloween wasn't really a thing here in Portugal years ago, but now it is. So now, on top of Mardi Gras week, we dress up then too. It's like we have 2 Halloweens. Awesome. Yay! It's quite fun. Oh, but that makes me think of another thing. Because there's a lot of castles, there's medieval fairs, and it's perfect because it takes place in the castles. In Korea, there's just that one palace. Is there any kind of like historical event where people dress up and try to get all into the thing?
I don't know if one specific event, but around the palace they have a lot of shops that will rent hanboks. So you can do a hanbok rental and walk around, and there is on one of the hillsides next to the largest palace, there are traditional houses. So you can put on a hanbok and walk up there and kind of see what it would be like back in the days. And
there's no big event though, huh?
I mean, there's holidays, but people don't, like dress up, I wouldn't say. No. Because there's Buddha's birthday, and they had a big parade, but it's not, again, the people in the parade dress up, but not people outside. And then the 2 big holidays they have in the year, which is Chuseok, like their Thanksgiving, and then Lunar New Year, it's all about doing the traditional ceremony at the family house and, cooking all the food and things like that. So, unfortunately, holidays are seen as work here. So Koreans can't stop working.
Yes, that seems About right.
Work culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the hanbok thing show up in a couple of the K-dramas. I think that's so cool.
Mhm.
I want to dress up too. So much fun. But it'd be nice if like they had an event where they went full on into it, just like how the medieval fairs really go into the whole thing and everyone wants to jump in and celebrate the way things were, like the cool parts, not the wars and the destruction parts.
Right.
And the lack of sanitation. Yeah, not that part. No.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Skip
Just the
that.
fun parts. Yeah.
You could then go to, there's a traditional folk village kind of near where I live, where you can go and they have people who work there who are kind of like half actors. They'll get into the costume and they'll act like a beggar, or they'll act like a noble or some part of the society back then. And you can also rent a hanbok there and kind of walk around as well. So yeah, I highly recommend. Yeah,
That's cool.
That's the closest thing to a Ren fair I can think of.
That'd be fun to see one day.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. That and the
I'll have
shake
everything.
be there.
Yes, I'll have everything prepared if you come. And this and this and this. And this.
Right? We'll like split it up between all of us. Okay, this day you're with Rose. This day you're with Ciara and Sarah.
We're going. We're gonna take over.
Mhm.
It'd be fun to go check it out. Maybe like sneak in to a K-drama. Say hi.
Right? Kicked off of a K-drama. You mean?
Exactly. Take off all the things on the list.
You never
That's
know.
very fun. It's actually like a secret bucket list item of mine. Not secret one. Not secret. But like a hopeful one day would be nice to be in a K-drama just for fun. Because it looks fun. Like the whole thing. It must be an interesting. I think it's like the whole process of doing filming in general is a lot of fun for me. So that would be fun. Yeah. K-dramas.
Yeah, just stand around one of the stations, like NBC or CBS or no, NBC, KBS, or SBS. Yeah, are the three main stations here. Just stand outside and hopefully see a celebrity or
Yeah.
sneak in.
It's not even for the celebrities. It's just to have fun acting. Never mind the celebrities. I just want to have fun.
Right?
The bully. Oh gosh, what is this? The bullying page here. There's a whole bunch of pages out. Need to close these. Yeah, K-dramas. Okay, what is the best K-drama you've ever seen so far? Like out of the few, 20, or the one that you've like heard recommended by everyone. You must watch this. You cannot leave this planet without watching this.
I would say my favorite is My Love from the Stars. 별에서 엉크대. It has Kim Soo-hyun and Chun Ji-hyun, two very, very powerful there's another word. 인기였다. Popular. That's popular stars, and it's just good. It's a very good comfort drama. Kim Soo-hyun has superpowers. He's a alien. And he gets stuck on Korea and has to wait for his alien friends to come and pick him up again. But then love happens.
Of course.
Yeah, and Jun Ji-hyun is like a celebrity. She's like a very famous actress, but she's at the beginning of the series kind of a bitch. So she learns how to be nicer and opens her heart, and you know, we see her process as well. So yeah.
It's the woman that puts up walls. She been hurt before.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend. How
Do
about
you have
guys?
a favorite one?
Since I haven't watched very many, I don't know if I really count for that. You know.
I actually really love Daetangum. even though it is painfully long. So painfully long. It is worth it to watch that one. So good. So good. It's an older one. I don't even know where to find it anymore. When I watched it, it was like showing up on the TV. So we'd be like, everybody, watch it. If you missed the episode, you're screwed.
Right.
And I understood even less Korean than I do now. So I would be like, what did they say? What did they say? And my mom was like, oh, just wait.
Right.
Just
Like,
play it
I'll give you
after.
synopsis afterwards.
wait for the musical interlude. I'll tell you then. Like, okay. That one's really
I guess
good.
I don't know this one. Is it historical or?
Yeah, historical drama. I think
Okay.
it's based off of like something that actually happened, a real person, the great Jangum, Tae Jangum. So that's a good one to check out, or even just to read about if you don't have time to watch the crazy amount of episodes that are in that one.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot. For recent ones, oh gosh, man, well, there was a few good ones. The It's Okay to Not Be Okay was actually pretty good for the Netflix ones. Hotel de Luna, of course, Hotel de Luna. My Rooftop Prince was cutesy and fun too. I liked it. I like the music in that one. I think that's what I like most about it. There was one that was like tears. I can't quite remember what the name of it. It was very teary. 49 days later, I think was it. The number I don't quite remember. K-drama. Gotta look it up. 49 days. Yeah. That's the one. That one was a sad one. Is there one that you heard of that was like super disappointing? Or like, oh, this is not really, don't like it. No.
Or that had a lot of hype and then, yeah, maybe it was disappointing.
Yeah.
I know there are, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
There was one big one for me. It was Stairway to Heaven. Like the music from it's great. I love the music from it, but I could not watch it. Ugh, I was just disgusted by the dynamics of like the toxic males in there were like, and then there was way too much tap tape for me. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. Too much tap tape.
Yeah, that's a really old one.
Yeah, that one had so much hype. It was like, oh, this one's the most best one ever, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it. Yeah, that was definitely no. Yeah,
things have changed.
Some of those K-dramas have not aged well. Yeah, at least not for the Western world. Yeah, and maybe some of them are still seen as nice in Korea for some. Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah, you should probably go to bed, Nakita. It's almost 3:30.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was 2:30 last time I looked at that. I'm probably like rambling a lot. Sorry.
It's okay. I'll break it into pieces when I post it, so it's fine.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed.
So you go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find food.
Good night.
I don't think Rose has a picnic to go to, so.
Yep.
So,
Bye.
bye.
This is fun. Bye-bye.